think the guy's name's Steve Whoosh. Don't hold it against me if it's wrong. Steve Walsh, Steve Whoosh, whatever it is. This movie is called Muck, and this was released way, way back in the day by Anchor Bay before they were sold to Lionsgate, before they folded and got reopened with brand new stuff that I was supposed to have sent to me, but it's never made its way to me. So yeah, Anchor Bay's back, but this is old, and this is a slasher flick. And I guess the reason I decided to go back and revisit it was because the same guy that made this was making, or is making, the new Return of the Living Dead. And I know some people don't hold a whole lot of, I guess they don't hold a whole lot of hopes when it comes to the new Return of the Living Dead because of this director right here. Now, I've never seen Killer Goats. I've never seen Fog City, but I have seen Muck. This is the second time I've watched Muck. And I didn't remember a whole lot about it other than I think what everybody remembers about it, that it opens up with a chick in her underwear running in like the woods, or the whatever you want to call it, the field. But that's pretty bad that when that's the only thing you remember about the movie. But nonetheless, here it is. Before we get into it though, when I was sent this movie way back in the day, I also sent this nifty little shot glass, which it's been through a lot, but it hasn't been used because I don't drink liquor. Get the what's it say? Get the muckout.com. Okay. Well, the weird thing about this movie, before we get into the actual plot and whatnot of it, is this was intended to be a trilogy, but they started with the middle movie. So therefore, when it opens up and we see a group of people, some injured, some in their underwear, as they're running for this house, we realize that they've been through something bad, and we piece together what it is later on. But nonetheless, they go to this house. They're trying to trying to get help, and they make some of the dumbest decisions ever. Like, I know slasher movies are supposed to have people do dumb decisions. These people are complete idiots. They're douchebags. They're like a bunch of lingerie and underwear models. So there's not really nothing but the looks I really like about any of these people. So they go in there, and these people, these beings, this little cult of people, whatever they're supposed to be. I might have lost that somewhere. I also think I lost some brains as I was watching this, but nonetheless, uh, one of them, the main one, probably the most interesting one of the tribe, is played by Kane Hodder, and he's probably the one we spend the least time with. So they go to this house. The one guy leaves, goes to a bar, takes time to use the bathroom and sit down and relax a little bit before he calls his cousin for help, which is another dumb decision they make. And he comes with some people to go pick them up because they're in danger. Little do they know just how much danger they're in. It's not really a gore fest. There's a little bit of blood in it. There's quite a lot of blood, mostly blood spraying on people in their underwear. Um, the effects are nothing to write home about. It's got some of the dumbest dialogue that you've ever heard in your lifetime. One guy, there's like two douchebag guys, but they're all douchebags. But there's like two particular guys, the cousin that he calls and like the wounded guy that comes to the house originally. They're the most entertaining, but even like the cousin ends up doing like just going over the top with his stuff later on, so it kind of loses its little spark it has. The other guy's pretty funny. Everybody else is just women basically nude or in their underwear, and that's the one thing you're cheering for. And it's kind of like it's almost interesting. It's almost genius how randomly women decide to get in their underwear or to get topless or something. Like, I know slashers are never like those, like the smartest movies ever, but it's just, hey, I'm running for help. I'm running by this house. Oh, there's a woman that's randomly changing clothes, and I'll just stop, look in the mirror, and watch. I mean, that's why this director gets a bad rep. And now I've not, like I said, watched his other movies, but I've not heard nothing good about Fog City or Killer Goats. But I wanted to rewatch this because I remembered vaguely some of it. And I was like, well, if he's going to do Return of the Living Dead, we'll see. We'll give this a watch and see if there's a spark of hope of what might happen. And the only thing I'm going to say now about the Return of the Living Dead movie he's making is it's probably going to look good. Because all those dude's movies, I think, at least look good. This looked good. But, yeah, it's just, other than probably a bunch of people getting in their underwear in that movie, a bunch of hot women running around, I don't have a whole lot of confidence that he's going to make a very good Return of the Living Dead film based off especially what happens here in Muck. And if you go to IMDb, there's not a whole lot of like really good facts about this movie, but you can tell in the tone that they're written that the director definitely went there and wrote all the facts himself, because it's the same tone as the dialogue and the humor in this movie. So yeah, not good, not a good slasher. I can see why we never completed this Muck trilogy. And at one time they were supposed to be making the prequel to this, and they never made it. I can see why it never got made. It's almost sci-fi channelish, but not in a good way, which we're going to be this week reviewing a few things that have that same kind of theme to them. So yeah, Muck, 1.5. I guess I forgot that it was this bad. Maybe I tried to force myself to forget that it was this bad. But unless you can find it real cheap and you want to watch out of curiosity, there's really nothing to see here.